In the first ever World Cup back in 1930, the United States men's national team scored 4 goals against Paraguay. Exactly 96 years later, they just repeated history, hanging 4 goals on Paraguay to open their 2026 World Cup campaign. That 1930 matchup was actually the last time an American player scored multiple goals in a single World Cup game. For nearly a century, the U.S. struggled to produce lethal, world-class goal scorers on the biggest stage. Beating a notoriously tough South American side 4-1 is the result of a deliberate, decade-long shift in how the United States identifies and recruits its talent. To understand how the U.S. finally built a roster capable of dominating top-tier competition, we have to start with the failure that forced them to abandon their old methods entirely. In 2018, the United States failed to qualify for the World Cup after a disastrous loss to a tiny island nation, Trinidad and Tobago. It was a national embarrassment that highlighted a massive gap in quality. That moment forced U.S. soccer to face an uncomfortable truth. Their domestic talent pipeline simply wasn't producing players capable of competing with the global elite. So, they looked beyond their borders. They launched an aggressive recruitment campaign targeting dual nationals, players eligible for an American passport, but born and raised entirely outside the country. This strategy bypassed the American developmental system. Instead of trying to train world-class teenagers at home, the U.S. imported players who were already being molded inside the most prestigious football academies in Europe. It successfully injected elite technical talent into the squad, but it also created a new problem. Putting 11 strangers on the pitch together means you have very little natural tactical chemistry. Look at the geographical diversity of this roster. You have players raised speaking different languages, learning entirely distinct styles of football in England, the Netherlands, Germany, and Italy. Take Folarin Balogun. He was born in Brooklyn, raised in London, and played his youth career for England. When the English senior team ignored him, he claimed an American jersey. How do you take a roster of individuals who have rarely shared a pitch and unify them in time for the highest pressure tournament in sports? You can't rely on raw athleticism or home field energy alone. You need a manager who enforces a universal, unyielding tactical language to get everyone reading from the exact same script. Enter Mauricio Pochettino. He brought an aggressive, European-style philosophy centered around the high press, a system where the entire team sprints forward collectively to win the ball back immediately after losing it. This was the perfect weapon against Paraguay. They are a physical, South American team that prefers to sit deep and defend narrowly, a tactic that allowed them to concede only 10 goals in 18 qualifying matches. To crack them, Pochettino implemented a left-side rotation. Pulisic drifted diagonally into the center half-space, while Anthony Robinson streaked up the boundary. This continuous revolving door overloaded Paraguay's right side, forcing their organized defense to break apart and chase the runners. That exact overload caused immediate panic inside the penalty box, forcing Paraguay to deflect across into their own net for a 7th-minute own goal. Pochettino's system became the glue. It gave a diverse group of players a shared set of rules that weaponized their individual technical skills. The true test of this system is what happens when the opponent tries to strike back. The U.S. had to maintain composure and precision under extreme physical pressure. Folarin Balogun's 2 clinical goals provided the payoff for the dual national recruitment strategy. He delivered a level of finishing that the U.S. previously lacked on the world stage. Just look at this chart tracking the first half. The background shading shows Paraguay's defensive pressure spiking, but the line tracking the U.S. passing accuracy stays flat, holding above a staggering 93%. That level of statistical dominance under pressure indicates that the U.S. is no longer relying on lucky counterattacks. They can now dictate the pace of the game against top-tier global opponents. Now consider the home field advantage. The U.S. squad is operating with 70,000 fans backing them in stadiums across the country. A 3-goal cushion after just 1 match is a massive advantage. While it doesn't mathematically guarantee a spot in the next round yet, it puts the U.S. in a commanding position as they look toward the knockouts. Armed with technical talent, top-tier management, and home crowds, the question is, what is the actual ceiling for this squad? What do you think is the destiny for this team? Drop your exact bracket prediction, group stage, quarterfinals, or beyond, down in the comments.